Good evening. Today is Wednesday, June 3rd. Thank you for joining us for another virtual town hall. I will start with my regular updates that's highlighting the number of cases here in Ohio and in the county. So as of today, we're at 36,792 cases in Ohio and 102 cases here in the county. I have a few updates on village operations. They include the pool, public restrooms, and hand sanitizers. But before I go further, I want to acknowledge the pain that we're all feeling with the recent incidents on the police brutality happening throughout our country. I don't, we hear you, we feel you, because we too ourselves, I'm feeling it myself. Chief Carlson has a message that speaks not just to our commitment, but what are we doing and what's ahead of us, and what we can do to have anti-racist policies here in our community. On pool updates, we will be opening the pool this Friday. We've published our regular hours. The council has voted to make Friday, Saturday, and Sunday resident-only days, and we're working on the process. But my announcements today are around the passes. We will have annual passes available to our residents, and this is only for residents. This will be based, the rates will be based on our 2019 rates. So you'll be able to purchase those starting tomorrow and Friday at the pool. I'll highlight the rates. This is based on the 2019 rates. So individual persons ages 4 to 18, the season pass will be $65. Individuals 19 to 61 years of age will be $95. Persons 62 ages and older will be $65. Adults plus one minor dependent is $110, and households of 5 or fewer, $125. This pass will give you access to the pool on all of the sessions throughout every day of the pool operates, and that's Monday through Thursday when we have those days that we'll have the pool open for everyone, residents and non-residents, and Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when the pool will be open only to residents. So that's a new update on the pool. Public restrooms. We've heard a lot of feedback on the public restrooms. We will open our public restroom beginning this Friday at 10 a.m. They'll be open from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and we'll have cleaning every 2 hours. So that starting this weekend, Friday through Sunday. And for next week, we're working on an adjusted schedule. We hope to accommodate that schedule, but we would announce what the public restroom schedule will be in a few days. Now on to hand sanitizer. If you may recall, we provided free hand sanitizer for businesses and nonprofit organizations here in the village. We made a significant order of hand sanitizer so that we can provide refills or solutions for these hand sanitizer bottles we provided. So good news, we have received our 110 gallons of hand sanitizer solution. So we're ready to conduct another distribution of hand sanitizer solutions. So this Friday, we will start collecting the bottles that we issued to refill those bottles. And come Tuesday at 11 a.m., we will have another drive-through hand sanitizer distribution. So this Friday, please stop by the John Bryan Center and drop off those bottles or drop off the bottles that we provided so that they may be refilled and handed back out on Tuesday at 11 a.m. Similar operation as we did last time, we will send out a form for businesses and nonprofit organizations to complete so that we keep data on how many we're using and who's getting the bottles. So we'll send out the form, complete that form. That'll be available on Facebook. Or you can shoot me an email if you want a direct link and complete that form. Joining me tonight is Fire Chief Colin Altman, Police Chief Brian Carlson, and Mayor Pam. Thank you for joining me. Chief.
Excuse me. Thank you very much, Josue. Miami Township Fire Chief Colin Altman coming to you live from New York City's historic Stonewall Inn. And I am here tonight with RuPaul, Virginia State Legislator Danica Rome, Advocate Barbara Smith, WYSO General Manager Luke Dennis, the fantastic Lisa Krieger, and my personal favorite, the amazing Patti LuPone, star of Broadway and screen, who I fell in love with at 8 years old, watching her commercial for Avita in New York City as I was growing up. Your fire department's been busy working still with businesses and restaurants to get them open, to help them open, to give advice on what the best thing to do is and how to keep everybody safe. And I can say that our business owners, for the most part, and our restaurateurs are doing an amazing job in complying with the state standards and exceeding the state standards in some cases. I can tell you now, the Winds has just opened. They've worked their butts off to make sure their place is cleaner than it's ever been, and it's pretty darn clean normally. And it's ready for you to come in. Staff are trained and at Sunrise and Calypso when they open, and everywhere else. So go downtown, shop downtown, eat downtown, heck, drink downtown. Everything else should be opening up soon, I believe. But they're there. They're ready for you. They're safe. They're clean. They're eager. They're looking for your business, and they just want to see you again. It's been such a long time. So stop by, make your reservations, whatever you got to do. Take care of our local businesses downtown because they take care of us, which is really fantastic. So, having said that, the official part, now I want to say this. As Ohio's first and probably only left-handed gay Jewish fire chief, I want to wish everybody a happy Pride Month. You can't really see the flag because of this darn background. Happy Pride Month. Pride is about equality. Very good, Mayor Pam. Pride is about equality. And I think it's wonderful if this month we can take the strides that the LGBT community has made and work with our Black and brown sisters and brothers to get them to where they need to be. I think we were all horrified. Doesn't matter if you're right or left, in the middle, by what we saw in Minneapolis. And we need to work together. We're in this together, work to end the systems of systemic racism. So everybody can get a flat tire on the side of the street and not be afraid of what's going to happen if a cop pulls up. We also need to work with our police departments and make sure that all the good cops, and there are so many good cops out there, are the ones that are in charge. And they're the ones who are pushing out the ones with the warrior mentality. And they are working with our communities. And there's so many good cops out there. We've got so many of them here in Yellow Springs. So for Pride Month, let's focus on equality for everybody and get everybody moving in the same direction so we can work as a community and as a country. And I know sometimes right now, nationally, it seems like we're kind of spinning our wheels. But we can do a lot as a country. We've done a lot as a community, and we can get it done. Who the heck thought that same-sex couples could get married? Now they can. So let's get it so that a Black man can maybe accidentally pass a $20 bill that's not real and not get killed while doing it. Let's work together this Pride Month, and let's make it happen. Let's start those conversations. They're not fun sometimes, but let's do it. So let's get out there and do it. As always, your fire department is here to help you when you need us. We love you. We appreciate what you do for us. We're here to help. Call us if you need us. Call us if you want to talk. We'll soon be open again, so you can come visit us. And be kind, be hopeful, be safe. Back to you, Josue.
Thank you, Chief. And now we'll hear from Police Chief Brian Carlson. Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you, Josue. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to read our message, my message. It's a combined, unified message from the police department. I would like to personally thank Dispatcher Cadet Brockington for his diligence, talent, and skill in assisting me have a voice. The murder of George Floyd. This is a blatant demonstration of abuse of power and the result of systemic racism within the United States. The circumstances of George's death are breathtakingly horrible and further highlights the lived reality that many marginalized persons, especially Black persons, have had to face in this country since its founding. The continued practice of targeting is due to deeply ingrained problems through poor law enforcement practices. Frankly, we law enforcement officers have to work together to undo the toxicity present within the law enforcement and judicial system. It is unacceptable to be complacent in any act of oppression, thus making it quintessential in our civic duty to undo the evident inequities and oppression to move towards a world in which we were all safe. In the present, a macro scale change is imperative. These changes should include transparency and lack of immunity for those that abuse their power. Through the act of reform, for instance, when dealing with a situation devoid of violent crimes, there could be issuance of citations in lieu of arrest. There should be improvement at the local levels that include better community policing techniques and veritable accountability. On a micro scale, this police department will continue to improve everyday practices and interactions with our public. This may result in further trainings that focus on de-escalation tactics and nonviolent methods of restraint. Yellow Springs Police Department strives to create a diverse and inclusive space that combat the overarching themes of inequity and violence. It may include competency in race relations and knowledge of disparities that others face, especially those outside of our own intersectionality. Instances of improper and discriminatory policing and practices that are created by implicit biases and prejudice will not be tolerated in Yellow Springs. We are continually monitoring our actions to assure our performance standards toward the philosophy of our guidelines for village policing. To that end, I tirelessly work and strive to make both myself and my staff hear and see you, to ensure that we practice the best community policing techniques, as we are here to serve and protect you. To the Black men, women, and persons of this country, I see and walk with you, partaking in this fight to ending systemic racism and police brutality. There is always space for you. It is not simply enough to not partake in racism. We must actively speak to be anti-racist, to undo these systems that have built America and instead create justice for everyone. I send my sincerest, heartfelt condolences to those affected by this senseless murder, especially to the family of George Floyd. May he rest forever in power. Thank you, Josue.
Thank you so much, Chief. Mayor Pam?
Thank you, Josue. Thank you to Colin, and thank you to Chief. His heartfelt words can be read in the paper this week. I suggest you read them again. His words will be online. I'm assuming, Philip, and that will be posted on the village website so that we can take another look at them. The Village of Yellow Springs stands behind all of its citizens, doing whatever we can in these troubled times. I do believe our history and our resources will serve us well in these days, in these coming days, weeks, months. We're very fortunate to live in Yellow Springs, where we have a history of dealing with the issues, many of the issues that have been brought up this week. We have a wealth of resources in the people who live in this village to deal with what's coming. I remember standing in front of the library just last Saturday and looking to my left and looking to my right, as far as the eye could see. The street was lined with our citizens, peacefully standing in just awareness of everything that has happened and everything that's going to continue to happen. Josue, village manager, was there. Chief Brian was there. Council people were there. It's very important that the citizenry, everyone hearing our voices, realizes the unity that's coming out of your village government right now. I was on a Zoom meeting this afternoon, late afternoon, with the many mayors, the Ohio Mayors Association, mayors who happen to be mayors of small villages and small towns. There were approximately 50 some on the meeting. For a while was Sherrod Brown. And after Sherrod Brown left the conversation, the moderator said, wow, where do we start? What's going on in your village, in your town? And one by one, many of us shared what has been going on in the places where we live. We are not alone. You are not alone. We're all going through this together. I know we said that at first with COVID 3 months ago, and we're saying it again now with the issues that are arising again. But they won't be tamped down easily this time. So for those of you listening to this, for those of you who will be watching it later, please know that the resources of our village are behind you. The leadership of the village is behind you. We are listening. All you have to do is read the chief's statement. Your law enforcement, the mayor's court, we are behind you. I've had opportunities now for 3 years to observe and watch the police department, the peace services we have in our village. And we are indeed very fortunate to have the officers that we have now. And I say that with no hesitation. And if things change, we'll deal with it. It's the time for conversation. It's the time for dialogue so that we can deal with the things that need to be addressed. And I don't mean to be Pollyanna, and I don't mean to gloss over. It's quite the opposite. We will talk, we will have dialogue. I've already heard of conversations forthcoming with 365 Project, Village Mediation Group, with the group that's formed around the not big expensive new jail, which is transitioning into a longer term project. There are many voices we'll be hearing in the next few weeks, and we will be listening and we will be participating. Josue, I'm sending it back to you.
Thank you so much, Mayor Pam. And thank you all for all your kind words and your messaging and your commitment to helping us build a better community and build a better. All right, with that, we'll transition to questions. And let's see, what questions do we have? Okay, we have a question regarding the rust outs. So on June 8th, we will conduct, or some of our facilities in the community will conduct a fire pump test. This is going to create some water discoloration in our water system. So expect that on June 8th. There's a test that these facilities must conduct and must pass, and that creates a water discoloration. So the question is, regarding June 8th and the water discoloration, do you still provide rust out, or whatever the name is, to remove stains from clothing washed in discolored water? Yes, we will provide rust out. And if you would like to have some rust out, you could visit our utilities office or call our utilities number, and we'll arrange for the distribution of the rust out for you. And that phone number is 937-767-7202. Okay. Philip, any questions? Okay. All right, no additional questions. I think folks may be getting through the video feed. Okay. All right, so we don't have any questions so far. Do my colleagues want to add anything to their announcements? Colin, you said you may be opening soon. Do you have a timeline?
Yes, sorry about that. We will be reevaluating our protective measures on June 15th. So we're hoping to have a limited reopening of the fire station. We probably will still won't have visitors into the living areas, but we can have visitors come and sit in our fire trucks again and that kind of stuff. Gals and guys will be wearing masks, of course. We have made the determination that the crew protection measures that we put in place for our staff, those will be in place most likely for the end of the year, at least, so that on even in your most basic ambulance call, you'll see the ambulance crew wearing a surgical mask, gloves, and safety glasses. And again, that's nothing personal. It's something that we have to do to protect you and to protect our staff, so that they can keep coming to work and responding to calls. So it's a small agency. Sometimes we only have 4 people on as a crew, and if one of them gets sick, well, I have to do a lot more work. So about me. So anyway, so watch for that. I know there's a lot of kids who've wanted to come and take fire engine rides, and we're eager to do it again. And the guys are really eager to get the bay doors open because our building is pretty warm and humid when those doors are closed. So watch for that. Hopefully on or around June 15th.
All right, excellent. Well, we are, our building is still closed, but we're still receiving customers for our police dispatch window and utilities. We're currently experiencing a situation with our fire panel here in the building, and by fire chief order, we cannot have public activities in the building unless we have a fire watch, which we do, and we have folks monitoring the building 24/7. But so that's holding us up a little bit, but we hope to have that issue resolved in the next 2 weeks. And it's right around the same time that that Colin's reevaluating his protocols for his facilities. We're also reevaluating our activities here in the John Bryan Center with the guidelines that are being released for recreational and educational activities. As you know, our building provides those services, and so we're looking at what does that mean for us? What does it mean for our programming in the future? So we are evaluating that. In terms of meetings, we have a challenge with meeting spaces given the 6 feet of physical distancing guidelines. So some of our spaces will no longer be available for meetings, such as the art room. The gym would become our default meeting space because it can accommodate individuals and allow for proper physical distancing. And with that, I'll announce that our first meeting will take place tomorrow for the utility dispute board. So that group will be meeting tomorrow here to hear a petition. I understand, we talked about council meetings, and that may be the future space for council meetings because, again, it allows for physical distancing. It's got enough circulation and good access from the exterior of the building. Police Chief Carlson, any safety advice? We've had an increase in activity. It's good weather. Any tips for our residents and visitors?
Well, first, I'd like to thank everyone that participated on Saturday in the protest. It was amazing, and I was proud to be part of that. I do want to let everyone know the Glen is closed. We will be enforcing the law in the Glen. This isn't the heavy hand of the police department for any reason other than it is extremely dangerous now in the Glen. Because the Glen is closed, we're seeing more serious incidents, and we will be stepping up our trespassing, open container, and other crimes that are against the law. Please stay out of the Glen until it opens. Thanks, everybody. And if you need anything, contact me at the police department. We'd like to get some dialogue going. We're working with John Gudgel, and hopefully we'll get some connectivity there started soon. And we can slowly begin the process of healing.
Thank you, Chief. And with that, I think we'll close the town hall. Thank you for joining us again. I want to remind you, we are here to help. We are here as a resource. We're working diligently to ensure that no one gets left behind, no one falls through the cracks. So reach out, don't hesitate to contact us, and we're working diligently to ensure a better future for all of us here in our community. With that, good night.